Hello students, in this video we are going to see torque acting on a current loop in a uniform magnetic field. This is a diagram made. Let PQRS be a rectangular loop. This PQRS is a rectangular loop of length L, its length is L, and breadth B, its breadth is B. It is suspended in a uniform magnetic field B. This rectangular loop is suspended in a uniform magnetic field B, and it has got current I, and having current I. The force acting on the vertical sides PQ and RS are equal and opposite, and as their line of action is different, force acting on sides PQ, I am explaining with that. Suppose this is a rectangular coil, and this is the direction of magnetic field, and this is side PQ. The direction of force is like this. It is this side, and this direction of current along RS is downward. It will be like this. Direction of force along RS is acting this side, and along PQ is acting this side. So this will form a couple. Again, I am repeating. The force acting on the vertical sides PQ and RS are equal and opposite, and as their line of action is different, they form a deflecting couple which tends to rotate the loop. Along PQ, force is this side, and along this RS, force is this side. It will, what it will do? It will form a couple and it will rotate the loop. The forces F1 F2 both are equal. F1 is equal to F2 is equal to F. The formula is IBL sin theta. Here theta is almost 90 degree, so it becomes IBL. Now the force acting on QR, let us see QR. It is like this. It is upward, F3, and similarly on the side SP it will be downward. Magnetic this side, current is this side, downward. Okay. So the magnetic force on sides PS and QR are also equal and opposite, but as the line of action is same, they do not form a couple. The line of action is same, so they do not form a couple and they cancel each other. But F1 and F2, the line of action is different, so they form a couple and a torque acts on the rectangular loop. Now torque, tau is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Look here, this is F1, this is F2, this is the perpendicular distance between both the forces. This is B, this is angle theta, so this becomes perpendicular distance is B sin theta. Torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance, force is IBL, distance is B sin theta. Now what is L into B? L into B is the area of the rectangular coil. So this is the area IAB sin theta. Now if there are n number of turns, then total torque tau is equal to NIAB sin theta. This is MB sin theta, where M is NIA, and what is M? It is the magnetic moment of the coil. This is the expression for torque acting on a rectangular coil kept in a uniform magnetic field. Next topic is moving coil galvanometer. It is a sensitive device which is used to detect and measure electric current. It works on the principle that, now what is the principle of this moving coil galvanometer? It works on the principle that when current flows through a coil, this is a coil kept in a uniform magnetic field, the North Pole, South Pole, they provide magnetic field, kept in a uniform, a torque acts on it whose magnitude depends on the strength of the current. This is the principle of moving coil galvanometer. In this, concave pole pieces are taken. This is concave pole pieces are taken. Why they are taken? Let us see. In this concave pole pieces taken, which provides radial field. These concave pole pieces, they provide radial field. Now, what is the use of radial field? In this case, in the case of radial field, the plane of the coil in every position, when current flow, a torque acts on it, it will rotate. The plane of the coil in every position is parallel to the magnetic field, or in other words, area vector is always perpendicular to the magnetic field. So there is use of radial field, and radial field is provided by concave pole pieces. So when current starts flowing in the galvanometer, due to flow of current, a torque acts on this coil kept in the magnetic field. It starts rotating. When this rotates, the spring gets twisted. When current starts flowing in the galvanometer, a torque acts on the loop. And it rotates, due to which a spring gets twisted and it offers restoring torque. Due to flow of current, a torque acts on it and it starts rotating, due to which a spring is attached here. The spring gets twisted and so it starts offering restoring torque. When the restoring torque becomes equal to the deflecting torque is acting on this, a restoring torque is acting on this. When they become equal and opposite, the coil rests in the equilibrium position. If C is the restoring torque per unit radian of the spring, this C is the restoring torque per radian of the spring, and suppose in equilibrium position the angular twist of the spring is theta. What is C? I have taken C is the restoring torque per unit radian, and if angular twist is theta, then total restoring torque offered by the spring is how much? It is C theta. So in equilibrium, deflecting torque NIAB. This is restoring torque, it is C theta. In equilibrium, both will be equal. I is equal to C theta upon NAB. Now C is constant, N number of turns constant, area constant, B stands for magnetic field. This is constant. So I is proportional to theta. That is, current flowing through the coil is directly proportional to the deflection of the coil. So this is the concept of moving coil galvanometer. Shunt. It is a low resistance added in parallel to a given galvanometer to save it from being damaged. This is a galvanometer. A low resistance is added in parallel to it so that the galvanometer is saved from being damaged. So this low resistance added in parallel is called shunt. Ammeter. It is a device which is used to measure electric current. And the resistance of ideal ammeter, is 0. As it has to measure current, it should have minimum resistance. So resistance of ideal ammeter is 0. To convert galvanometer into ammeter, a low resistance is added in parallel with it. In order to convert galvanometer into ammeter, what we do? We add a low resistance in parallel with it. This is a galvanometer and this low resistance added in parallel. This is also called shunt. So when we have to convert galvanometer into ammeter, we add a low resistance in parallel with it. This is a galvanometer, this is shunt, and this together becomes an ammeter. If I is the current which is passing through this ammeter, at the junction, current will distribute. Suppose Ig current flows through the galvanometer. The remaining current, I minus Ig, passes through the shunt. Potential difference across this is Ig into G. G is the resistance of galvanometer we have taken. I into R is the potential difference across this. Similarly, potential difference across shunt, I minus Ig into S. As both are in parallel potential is same, equate both. S is equal to Ig into G upon I minus Ig. Voltmeter. It is a device which is used to measure potential difference between any 2 points in an electrical circuit. It is used to measure potential difference. The resistance of ideal voltmeter is infinite. The resistance of ideal voltmeter is infinite. Now, how to convert galvanometer into voltmeter? To convert galvanometer into voltmeter, a very high resistance is added in series with it. Because resistance of ideal voltmeter is infinite, so we have to increase the resistance. So what we do? We add a very high resistance in series with it. Now this is your galvanometer. This R is the very high resistance added in series with it. So this becomes your voltmeter. So V is equal to, the total resistance becomes G plus R, it is there in series. So V is equal to Ig G plus R, where Ig is the current flowing through the voltmeter. R is equal to V upon Ig minus G. This is how we convert galvanometer into voltmeter.